Jake Man shot at 90 times by police. We're still under the curses. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai by Shem Kakodash. This is breaking news, breaking news. Jalen Walker speaks to 3 news after Akron police shooting. Now, I believe Jalen Walker is the mother, either the mother or the sister. Okay, you got a lot of information here. I know it says here, let me highlight this. Okay, his name is Jalen Walker. For a heartbroken mother and sister of Jalen Walker, the answer they seek is increasingly elusive. So they're not getting the answers. And what I'll do is I'll put this video up. Family of Jalen Walker, that's his name, speaks to 3 news after Akron police, that's in Ohio, the state of Ohio, shooting. Now, he was actually hit. He was shot at by 90 rounds, and he was hit with 60 of those rounds. And they claim that they tried to pull him over, and he sped up, and they gave chase to him. And what they said was he shot at them, and they found a gun in the car, after the 90 shots were fired. But this proves that we're still under the curses. Now, there's a bunch of precepts that come to mind. I'll hit whatever precepts come immediately to mind. Let me just bring this over. Okay, let me see. I believe that's is it Jeremiah 5 or Jeremiah 15? Let's try Jeremiah 15. That's it, Jeremiah 15, verse 5. Let me start from up here. Judgment must come. I'll start at the top. Jeremiah 15, verse 1. Then said Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people, the Israelites. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And this individual got shot up like that in this horrific way because he's an Israelite and he's under the curses. No other nation on the planet Earth that comes to this country gets treated like a so-called black man. I mean, that's called overkill. But I'm gonna see how the rest of these news stations, MSM, mainstream media, deal with this incident. Second verse, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword. The modern day sword is a gun, and such as are for the famine to the famine. There's going to be a famine coming to this country very soon, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. So Israel was born as a nation in captivity, the so-called Egyptian captivity. They went into the captivity under the Moabites, under there was a constant war with the Philistines, which are nothing but so-called Egyptians. The Babylonians, that was a major captivity. The Assyrians, that was another major captivity, which caused the 10 tribes, or the northern kingdom, let's say, to come over here on the other side of the world. But then they still had to suffer the curses when the Spaniards and the conquistadors came over here. So these curses pursued us, as the scriptures say. Third verse, Jeremiah 15, verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, the sword to slay, the modern day sword is a gun, and the dogs to tear, and the fowl of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. What does it mean by the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth? Meaning your carcasses will be out, left on the plain for these scavenger type animals to eat your flesh. And there's a spiritual meaning behind that as well. 4th verse, Jeremiah 15, verse 4, and I will cause them to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. And the Israelites are scattered literally throughout the whole planet Earth. And we're going to look like those people. A lot of us are going to look like those people. You got a lot of Israelites that look like Moabites. You got a lot of Israelites that look like Edomites, that look like Arabs, that look like East Indians. And I will cause them to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah, for that which he did in Jerusalem. Now, Manasseh repented. You have the prayer called the prayer of Manasseh in the Apocrypha. And when you read that prayer, you can see he humbled himself. Now, let's get the backstory on Hezekiah. Hezekiah. Hezekiah or Hezekiah or Hezekiah, which means Jehovah is my strength. I got to look that up, double check that. 12th king of Judah, son of Ahaz and Abijah, a good king in that he served Yahweh and did away with idolatrous practices. Great-great-grandfather of Zephaniah the prophet, son of Nariah, a descendant of David, head of a family of returning exile in the time of Nineveh. They're not giving me enough information, so let me look even further. Hezekiah. successor Manasseh, which was his son. Okay, so that's all the information on this king. So you can read it on your own. So now let's come back over here to, where are we? So it said one of his lines was an actual prophet. So the prophets came out of the line of kings. Solomon was a prophet. David was a prophet. Yahushua came out of the line of the kings. He was definitely a prophet. He was more than a prophet. Fourth verse again, and I will cause them to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah. Because Manasseh he went off. His father didn't go off. He went off, but he humbled himself for that which he did in Jerusalem. For who shall have pity upon thee? And when they opened up on that guy, on that individual, Jalen Walker, they had no pity on him, man. When they opened up on him, it was 8 officers that opened up on him. They just kept, popping shots. And he was, after about a minute, they said most of the shots was from, when he was laying down. So he was no threat. They were mad because he outran them. See, that's what you shouldn't do. If you're dealing with police and they pull you over, just get pulled over. Give them your credentials. Address them as officer. Get a ticket, and then you be on your way. Then you go deal with it in court. If you're found guilty, you pay a fine. Oh, you went 10 miles over the limit. There's going to be $150 fine. And you pay for the fine. It's simple as that. Now, we don't know the backstory. Maybe he, gave them the opportunity for them to chase him, was maybe because his paperwork wasn't right. Maybe he had a suspended license. Maybe his insurance wasn't right. And he said to himself, I don't want to go into the system. I don't want to get locked up. So let me outrun them. And that frustrated the police, especially being that he was a so-called black man, which he's not a black man, he's an Israelite. He ran. So his back was, when you're running from something, you can't run backwards. You're going to trip and fall. His back was to them. And then, according to news reports, that the gun that he supposedly used, according to them, was found in or around the car. So he had no gun on him. And like I said, they pretty much, the attitude was the same attitude that they took with Rodney King. Rodney King caused those police in LA to chase him down. And they're like, this motherfucker, let me catch this dude. When they caught him, they beat the hell out of him because of anger and frustration. So they let their emotions get involved. So now I'm going to see what the news, the MSNM, the mainstream media, has to say about this thing, and whether this is a whole setup or whether, as Mitt Romney, not Mitt Romney, what is this guy? He made the statement, never let a good crisis go to waste, something to that effect. What was his name? He was like in the Obama administration, he became mayor of Chicago. I forget his name, escapes me right now. He was a small hat as well. Anyway, the 5th verse, for who shall have pity upon thee? So when they opened up on him, they didn't have pity on this man. O Jerusalem, or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? 6th verse, thou, he's talking to Israel, thou hast forsaken me, saith Yahweh, thou art gone backwards, therefore will I stretch out my hand against thee, against the Israelites, and destroy thee. I am weary with repenting. I'm tired of hearing you, cry my name so I can send a deliverer. And then as soon as I deliver you, you go back into doing your wickedness. So the ultimate reason why this man was gunned down the way he was, in that horrific manner, because ultimately you broke the laws of the Most High. We as a people broke the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And the Most High created all these nations, and he put it in the mind of these nations to take you down. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.